The Rewind
The
Sports 60.
Sports 60. From the city of big shoulders, the jewel of the Midwest, comes a sports show that's one of a kind. From iconic players to iconic stadiums to iconic teams, this is my kind of town. Chicago! And the Rewind Sports 60 is my kind of show. From Air Jordan to Sweetness to Papa Bear Hallis, this city works hard, but plays even harder. Danny Carlino and Jerry Riles bring you the Rewind Sports 60. Live. The Rewind Sports 60 starts now.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Rewind Sports 60. We're streaming live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, broadcasting live from Serenello's Ristorante Italiano, right here in the heart of Wheeling, located on the corner of Lake Cook Road and Milwaukee Avenue. Restaurant Road turns Wheeling, Illinois, just outside the greatest city in the world, that, of course, Chicago, Illinois. This is the Rewind Sports 60. I'm your host, Jerry Riles, and let's get to the panel, ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed panel, the one, the only, the man of the hour. He is Loyola's finest. You love him? You know him? He's the Italian stallion. DC, he's Danny Carlino. What's up, brother?
DC. Good morning, guys. I know it's Easter Sunday, so everyone's out with the bright colors, but last night was a little tough, so I'm wearing my dark.
It
was a good first 25 or 30 minutes or so. Then after that, the run came at the right time for Michigan.
Yeah,
and it was a little too late to come back at that point.
Yeah, and Sister Jean, she's like, hey, I can't take any more of this. Just get me out of here, boys.
Well, she's preparing her post-game.
The run is over.
Consolation, conversation to have with the guys, and I'm sure it was pretty emotional.
Sure, I'm sure it was. We'll definitely get a chance to break down the Loyola Ramblers and the fantastic season that they had, making it all the way to the Final Four, but unfortunately, Lady Luck stops, and the Wolverines, that school up north, they move on to the championship game. We'll certainly get a chance to break all that down. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy's the best in the business. I continue to tell you, Chicago, brace yourself. The world, brace yourself. He's the one, the only, the best comedian, actor, entertainer you'll ever see. Eddie Murphy. It's okay, man.
Oh,
you go
man.
to the Hall of Fame. Tracy Morgan, right? Hey, the last OG? Go on, brother. Go on. Move on. Get on out of the way. He's the one. He's Kelly Lee Wales. What's up, boss?
That's right. I called for Loyola to win the national championship last week, and I would do it again.
Boom.
Because they were up by 10 at halftime. They were up by 10, and everybody was talking, oh, yeah, they're going to come. They're going to be there. But they weren't there. Michigan did not show up until 13 minutes into the second half when Richardson went down. When Richardson got tired, the legs got tired, Marcus Towns went down, that was it. Because if they lost their starting five, there was no way that they were going to be able to win Michigan, and that's what happened. And Michigan just said, okay, we can play B, can be Michigan now because Loyola got tired. But you have to give it to those kids, man. Those kids they fought tooth and nail. But Michigan was, my goodness, they got some talent, man. I'm like, wow, those guys. That Mo Davis, Mo Dewis, Mo, what is his name? Mo what is it? Mo Better Blues? Yeah, let's call him Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues. He was like dunking on people. It was like, where was that in the first quarter, even the first half, right? But Michigan, give it us to Michigan, but Loyola, I love you, man.
Yeah. I mean, Ramblers, congratulations.
Yes.
No reason. We got the Chicago Daily Herald here, the sports section. End of the line, the kids are crying and they're disappointed. And of course, Danny, I mean, you got to be disappointed because when you get into this thing, you want to win it all. And they were able to advance to the Final Four. And again, to the Michigan Wolverines, the final score 69-57. But our hats go off to the Ramblers of Loyola and the city of Chicago. I mean, I tell you, the city embraced that basketball team because you have a bunch of kids who are just a bunch of kids out there playing basketball, and it was like Chicago basketball, in an organized fashion. Unfortunately, Kelly, from the way I saw it, was the fact that Loyola didn't play their typical standard basketball that got them to this point. Yeah, we know there are a couple of buzzer beaters, of course, but to me it looked as if they did not get into their groove. It seemed to me that they were trying to play more of Michigan style of basketball up and down the floor as opposed to playing that basketball that we've grown accustomed to seeing them play, and that's sharing the backdoor cuts, the slant passes. they got away from that, Danny, from my perspective. And when they did put it together, as Kelly said, they ended up taking the lead. But unfortunately, the Wolverines, I thought, was just outmatched them.
Well, I mean, sometimes you worry about the stage being too big, and that didn't seem to be the case. But in other games, they had their spurts where they lacked that patience that brought them to the level that they gotten to. So that happened a little bit yesterday. A little bit, you have to give some props to the Michigan defense causing the turnovers, and they had some turnover issues from time to time in the previous 4 games, but to take better advantage of those turnovers. And I mean, from down 10 to up 10, I mean that's turning the game on its head. And again, it was too late in the game, and with guys legs giving out at that point, it's tough to come back when you have to really dig. The reserves aren't the same as other teams' reserves, and so when you have to dig into that, it's a little tougher to find that ability to come back.
Well, that's one thing about the Ramblers is they actually had some depth. They actually had more depth than the Michigan Wolverines. But again, I thought that they just played into the hands. And Coach Beeline, I think he had a great game plan in store for the Ramblers, and they just got away from themselves and didn't figure it out, and they were in spurts. There was at one point in the first half they went almost 6 minutes without scoring a basket when Michigan went on that run. So I thought that it was a great coaching and great game plan by the Michigan Wolverines.
The Michigan Wolverines were great, but they were supposed to be great. We saw that they had the talent. They had everybody, a lot of people that picked them to win the entire tournament.
Exactly.
But again, no one picked Loyola to be in the Final 8, much less the Final 4. And they got there with their defense, and that's how they got their 10-point lead at the end of the half, with their defense. Richardson didn't hit his first 3 until 15 minutes into the second half. That's why they didn't get any. He didn't have a game. He didn't have the game he needed to have. They're still playing. They may go to overtime. They were closer than. But Richardson, as you can see, the legs were out. The legs were gone. And when your legs are gone from your starters, when your best players, then there's really no hope for it when you're going against the horses of Michigan, because they were used to that Big Ten schedule. They're used to running up and down the court and just getting things done. And Loyola wasn't. Not to that point.
Right.
Got tired. But got true heart, total heart. And I want to shake every Loyola basketball player's hand, man, because y'all brought this city together. There was Loyola. There was Crimson and all over the place. Maroon and gold, all over the city. I mean, I know people that never even went to college was wearing these things. That's right, Loyola, man.
I went to Loyola. Yeah, you got off of the red line there once?
Yeah. Do you know where Loyola is? Can you please tell me? No, but I went there. Okay.
Oh man, that's what it is, man. And God bless Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt. Her face is everywhere. And did you get the picture of Jay-Z? Jason's in there, our technical director.
Going out.
Yeah. I picked this up yesterday. A good friend, Tommy, was out there on Broadway selling these, and he gave it to yours truly. But Sister Jean, I got to tell you, she didn't want to see. She didn't want to see any more of it. She was like, about 8 minutes ago, she's like, this thing is over. Get me out of here.
Could you imagine if they had won and gone on, and Sister Jean would have been like Sister Jean Pancake, Sister Jean Memorial High. Don't say that. Oh, that's the Memorial.
Right.
Right. Sister Jean Now Highway. Or
there you go.
Sister Jean would have been all over the place.
Yeah.
Somebody would have said, Sister Jean is from North Carolina.
They said the bobblehead.
There's going to be a Sister Jean bobblehead.
There is one. They're going to reproduce more like
exactly.
in June or whatever.
They said, I think that it sold out 10,000. I think in the first 4 hours, the fastest in history of bobbleheads. Unbelievable.
I'm just wondering if this will stay with us. Like, will it be Sister Jean Halloween costumes coming up in October?
Halloween.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, no, again,
season, now you gotta wear it. You better wear the first Sister Jean Halloween costume.
Congratulations again to the Loyola Ramblers for advancing to the Final Four. Again, they were just, in my opinion, overly matched. I thought Porter Moser tried to do the best he could as far as coaching his kids and getting them ready to go. One guy that I felt that didn't show up for sure was Dante Ingram. He had a couple miscues, and that, if you guys remember, about a week or the past 2 weeks or whatever, I said that the only concern I had with the Loyola Ramblers were the turnovers, and I don't know if it was a Nevada game or not, but the first half they had 4 turnovers. And then the second half of that game, they had a combined, I think they had between 8 and 10 turnovers. And I was really, really concerned about the turnover factor. Yesterday's game, again, the turnovers cost them. I thought Dante Ingram, for some reason, did not play the type of game that we've grown accustomed to seeing him play. And, when you make a mistake against a powerhouse like Michigan, you're certainly going to pay the price. And the Ramblers certainly did that.
On the offensive side, yes, they didn't play. But on the defensive side, they were solid as always. I mean, right up to the point where their best player, Richardson, when they got tired, got hurt. I mean, they were in it 15 minutes into the second. Then they were in it for 11 minutes. Then once Michigan tied, and we knew that the legs were gone, and their best 2 players.
So Kelly,
yes.
but why do you think the legs were a factor? If they had a week off to prepare, such as same as Michigan, why do you think their legs were a factor?
Because Michigan had better athletes. I mean, better trained, better tuned athletes. Loyola.
They were in Nevada,
right? But they're not. But they
were physically more talented, athletic than the Loyola Ramblers.
True.
But Loyola played that unselfish style of basketball. They were a little bit rattled in the first 6-7 minutes of that game. They finally calmed down, gained their composure, and they played the style of basketball that got them to that point. What was the difference in that game as opposed to what happened in the Michigan game?
It all comes back to like they played 4 games before that to get there. Everybody else, but the conditioning, those Michigan players are horses. I really never saw Michigan until that game. I'm like, whoa, these guys, they're really, really good. And Loyola is a great story. They're good, but not Michigan good. Not that good. Like you said, Michigan had more team, but yes, Nevada had more talent, but Loyola had more heart. But Michigan, once they said, hey, wait a minute, we're Michigan, we got all this talent, that's when they took over. That, and only then, 11 minutes into the second half, this game was still up for grabs. They
were stuck at between the length of time they got from 45 points to 49 points in like an eternity for Loyola.
Right.
And that was the part where there was a downfall. One thing I thought that was a little bit in the second half was the defensive rebounds. That was their key. They don't even really try to get offensive rebounds. They try to get a really good shot, make that shot, and then get back on defense.
Right.
So they can mitigate some of that athletic difference. So we're going to concentrate, make sure you only get 1 shot as well. And that didn't happen as much in that second half during that run. And again, they had the turnovers even against Kansas State, but they had a 20-point lead when K-State made that run.
Right.
So here we've just played our worst basketball all tournament.
Yeah.
And we're up by 10.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good feeling.
Yes.
Versus we're having a tough time. Now we're down by 10. Then you feel like all is lost and Sister Jean's rolled out.
There you go.
Right.
I also thought that Krutwig was a key factor in there. I liked how he was some spurts throughout the game. He was taking advantage of the inside paint. And he had his back to the basket. He would make his moves. He laid up off the glass high, and he would convert. I thought he was more of a key factor as far as the outcome for this basketball game if Loyola was going to go on and win. And I agree with you as far as the legs are concerned and the I can't say not well conditioned, but he wasn't as conditioned being a freshman as the Michigan Wolverines, and it was only so much that he can do before he got tired.
Also, when he's the center and they can key on him when Richardson's not hitting on the outside, they don't have to, they can double team him there once he gets the ball down there. And he doesn't have anybody to get out to. If you're not hitting the 3, he has to go up there.
Won the whole game.
Exactly.
Right. Well, Richardson, I mean, he prior to the game, he knocked down 23 points. He was like 1 of 9, I think, from 3-point land. So he wasn't really effective throughout the entire tournament. So, and again, the way this Loyola Ramblers basketball team plays, you can count any of the players on the floor to convert for you because they're that equal as far as their talent and their skill levels are concerned. Unfortunately, again, they run into the buzzsaw called the Michigan Wolverines. 69-57. Loyola Ramblers bail out. The Final Four is all set, folks, and we'll get a chance to talk about that as well. Andre Wakefield, the former Loyola guard, will be joining us later on to break down his perspective as far as what happened in that game. Folks, keep it locked in. We're broadcasting from Serenillo's Restaurant Italiano right here in Wheeling for Sunday brunch, 11 to 1 p.m. 11 to 1 p.m. Come on down and enjoy yourselves. Have a great one. Happy Easter to all of you guys and girls out there. Keep it locked in. You've got the Rewind Sports 60. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, joined by Danny Carlino, DC, the Italian Stallion, and of course the marvelous one, Danny Marber, joins us. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. You know, there's still a connection in the finals. You got Chicago. You got Jalen Brunson from Stevenson, and then on the other side you got Charles Matthews from St. Rita. So there's a couple of Chicago area kids that got away that are still alive. But again, you cover the Loyola story, and you know, it was quite a run for them and very enjoyable.
This Brunson kid, real quick, that's the matchup, Villanova to take on Michigan on Monday night down in San Antonio. That should be a pretty good basketball game. But this Brunson kid, he's pro ready in my opinion. This guy, he has a pro body, he has a pro mind, he has a pro game. He's unbelievable.
I think that on the other side, Wagner is pro ready too. You know, the 6'11" kid that steps out. That's what hurt Loyola, as I mentioned last week. They had some shorter people guarding him, and that hurt on the rebounding because you know, I don't think they were going to have Crutwood guard him at the line, and so they had Custer and Richardson and Ingram trying to guard him, you know, on the 3-point line, and it's tough. It was a tough matchup.
Hard to contest a shot.
Yeah, right.
when the discrepancy.
It was even hard. Grant Hill couldn't even guard him at the scores table.
Sure. And was it Bill Raftery lost his glasses?
Yes.
In the melee. So a moment of silence for his glasses.
Did you see the look on Grant Hill's face though? That was priceless. It really was. A former player.
He didn't want to get busted up for a Hall of Fame.
Right.
Unbelievable. But was that it? Pretty much it. You felt that Loyola, they met their match, and I mean, you know, the gravy chain is over.
I mean, even Michigan barely survived against Houston. Poole hits a shot at the buzzer against Houston. So everybody has their moment where they have to get a shot to advance or have some fortunate experiences.
Yeah, so once they hit that three, I think they gave them a little more confidence there in the second half. I mean, you know, coach had his arms up in the air like, finally, time to rejoice. Now we can actually maybe open up the game a little bit. And you know, every time Wagner got the ball, I could hear Ride of the Valkyries. It's like, here comes the attack. Yeah. It's going to crash in on Loyola, and it finally did. I mean, you could heart and guile and everything is great, but you know, it has its limits. Just like pure talent has its limits. You got to
and they lose Jackson and Ingram, and so they'll still have a lot of people back. Williamson will step up and have more time next year. They'll have a little trouble in the post for a backup, but otherwise they'll be strong. They should be able to win the Missouri Valley.
Well, you know what? It's interesting.
That's the first rule. That's how you got to get back in and give yourself more chances.
Right. Crutwig, I think this was a great season for him because being a freshman and having the success and being the conference player of the year, right?
Yeah.
I think
Custer was a conference.
Custer. He was the freshman of
he's being groomed.
Freshman of the year. But he's got a world of talent. He's got a world of talent, and this is a great experience for him, and just some really good hard work during the offseason. I think he's going to come back ready and rearing to go.
I mean, his post moves are sensational.
Yeah.
Where he's able to duck and weave without traveling.
Right, exactly.
Usually.
Yeah, usually, right.
So as far as the program is concerned, guys, and we're on with Danny Marvelous Marber, and of course Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion.
Slightly less marvelous.
You both are marvelous, that's for sure. But as far as the program is concerned, Porter Moser said it's not about building foundation. It's not about building an organization. It's about building a winning culture. Is he in a step in the right direction with that?
I mean, I think he has the foundation, and if he stays, again, they should be competitive in that league because year after year they're going to be. Now that Wichita's gone, I mean, they're going to be able to compete for the championship year in and year out. You've got your Northern Iowas and Illinois State, you know, and the others, but they should be competitive in their league, even if they lose a little bit of talent.
Sure. But as far as recruiting is concerned, I mean, this puts them on the stage, and more importantly, puts them on the stage here in Chicago. As we talked about how everyone in the city embraced this team. Danny, this says as far as recruiting is concerned, you can get some kids from the public league now. You can get some kids from the Catholic league to stay home and continue that run. And again, if coach wants to build a winning culture, I think that's the first step we need to take in getting that done.
Well, at the very least, you'll have more recruits considering you.
Yeah.
Because before you ever show up at their door, they know who you are.
Right.
And so that there's no publicity like winning.
Right, as it was, they already had Ingram from Simeon and Williamson from Young, so they can tell their friends to come too.
Exactly.
And that's word of mouth too. It's like, okay, the coach can only tell you so much, but when another player tells you, hey, this is a place where you want to be, you can grow, you can get a good education, and you can win.
Exactly.
The coach is always like the car salesman. It's like, how much is what he's telling me is really true?
Yeah.
Where the players know what's what. And so they give you the true picture of what.
And that's the thing. These kids, they bought into the concept. They bought into what Coach Moser has said. Hey, this is what we're going to do, and they believe in him and they trust him. And what I like about this team is the fact that they've taken upon themselves to put in the work. All these guys work during the off season over the summer to get to this point, and they see what hard work has done. Not to say that they didn't know anything about hard work prior, but they understand now, collectively working together with the hard work during the off season when we don't want to be up at 5:30 in the morning, running 2 or 3 miles. This is the end result. And and that's why I said with Krutwig, this kid is like, wow, I come from Jacobs High School out in the northern suburbs. I'm playing for Loyola. I'm almost a household name now around the country. I know what it takes now.
The unique circumstance of the guards being childhood friends,
Yes.
and Richardson.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's gone now, but because Richardson's going to graduate, but that was a unique aspect too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they knew where each other was going to be without even asking.
Yeah, exactly. So we talk about Coach Moser and his contract. What happens? I think he's going to stay around. I think Loyola's they're going to try to give him as much money as they possibly can.
It's a private school, so I don't know, how much they can give.
Right, exactly.
We'll see.
Exactly. But I think with him saying, hey, I want to build a winning culture, I think he's in for the long haul.
Yeah,
that's my perspective.
I mean, if he wants more money, he's going to leave. But if he wants to...
If he's true to his word,
right.
He's going to stick around.
Yeah.
He's going to stick around. But my question, Danny, with the success that this team has had now we remember back in the heyday with DePaul, and they played at Alumni Gym right there on the north side, right? And how many, that was, what did that seem, like 3,000 or something like that?
That was the Alumni Gym for Loyola. I think Alumni Hall for DePaul was like 5,000 because I used to go there.
Okay, but that's what the new Gentile Center is now, like 5,000.
They when they redid it went under 5, but you're right. So just 4,800 or something like that.
Does that play a role in a factor?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have, if they bring in Florida or somebody, they're going to have to play them somewhere else. The United Center or Wintrust or Rosemont or someplace, because if they can get a home game against a...
You said Wintrust?
Yeah.
Where's that?
That's where DePaul plays. I mean, that's an option. It's 10,000 seats. It's bigger.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But, Loyola has to know who they are, because they're never going to be one of these big. They're never going to be the two teams that are left in here. They're never going to be that. They're going to be the neighborhood Chicago school, and like I said, they're in the valley.
Yeah.
So their first job is to do what you can to keep Porter Moser, or make sure you're always looking for the next guy that can continue, that has that mindset that can continue it, because you always want to be a step ahead. Sure. And also, they were benefited by the fact Wichita bolted. So now you have to become Wichita and make the tournament every year, every other year at least. Mm-hmm. Final Four is the tree. We had Mark Carmen on last week. Like, don't expect this to ever happen again. You want to work toward that. You want to hope toward that. You're going to sell that.
I don't understand that, though.
But I mean,
you need a lot of fortunate circumstances.
We had Northwestern last year. Wow, great. What a wonderful story. Chris Collins, local guy, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Where are they this year? Yeah. Obviously, Big Ten's different than the Valley, but like I said, you have to make sure that you get into the tournament another 2-3 times in the next 5-6 years.
Right.
So you're in the mix. That you can keep getting those recruits, because 10 years from now, hey, that was a nice story, but what does that do for me now?
Right.
Tell me you've been in the tournament, a handful of times in these last 5-10 years. Then okay, then I'm going to take you seriously.
It's more like the George Mason story, or they were 11 seeds that got to the Final Four, and you look at George Mason and Virginia Commonwealth now, and they don't make the tournament.
Exactly.
So it's a question of keeping the recruits coming in.
Well, and that's the thing, and I think the benefit for the Ramblers is the fact that they're in Chicago, and they have Chicago kids, and that is a real big plus. And the fact that you may not be able to get those blue chippers, from New York or from Texas or from out west, but you can get that second tier player, as they have on this team now, that wants to play, that wants to be on the big stage, so to speak, and want to eventually be a household name. And I think, again, with that winning culture mentality that Coach Porter Moser has, I think that's a recipe for getting to the big dance every year. And you talk about it's similar to what the Cubs are doing, right? The Cubs, I mean, they want to win the World Series like everyone else does, but they got the World Series. But for them, the key is to continue to make the playoff year in and year out to show that their body of work was not done in vain. And that's what the Loyola Ramblers, I think, are looking for.
I think it's very possible, like I say, they should be competitive in their conference every year. As long as they keep bringing the recruits in.
Sure. And the only thing is, like, they're benefited by being in the Valley and Wichita, but they're also, there's a detriment to being there because you know that you got to win those tournament games because you can unless your tournament, unless your league doesn't, like the bottom 2 teams don't make it, you can go over for the regular season, and win those games, you're in. If you can win them all, you lose in the first round of the tournament, you're out. Boom. And that's it.
If, there have been cases where they've had 2 bids, and Wichita was the second bid, so maybe Loyola can get to the point where they would be a second bid.
I'm here with the 2 Dannys, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. Danny, marvelous, Marvel. Folks breaking down Loyola basketball. We'll get a chance to continue to talk some basketball. Kelly Lee Williams will be joining us. Andre Wakefield, a former Loyola guard, will be joining us as well. Come on down if you guys got some time. Easter Sunday, Easter brunch. Come on down. We're here from 11 to 1 p.m. 11 to 1 p.m. They're getting it done down here, ladies and gentlemen, behind us. You really can't see us, but they have the ballroom. It's all packed. This place is packed. Serenello's Restaurante Italiano right here on the corner, Lake Cook Road and Milwaukee Avenue, Restaurant Row, just 40 minutes outside the greatest city in the world, Chicago, Illinois. Keep it locked in. You got the Rewind Sports 60.
You're with the Rewind Sports 60. We're all here together, my friend Jerry Riles, the greatest man who does the sports in the Chicago area. This guy, his head is filled with sports knowledge about everything that's Chicago sports. This guy, this big head, full of knowledge. And DC, the Italian Stallion.
Don't tell people what my head's full of.
I wasn't planning on it. I really don't want to go in there. But hey, Daddy Carlino, he is the best. And now that Jerry has gotten his bacon down, he can take right over. Take it away, Jerry.
Great ventriloquism right there. I like it.
Exactly. Kelly Lee Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. We're munching, I'm telling you. Guys, you cannot beat it. Easter brunch here at Serenello's Restaurante Italiano. Man, oh man, it's worth the, what did they say? Worth the cost of admission or something like that?
Worth the cost of admission, yes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And then some.
And then some.
And then some. You got the mimosa flowing here. Delicioso. You got the bacon. You got the eggs. You got the deviled eggs. I'm telling you. And
don't forget the fun-loving waffles. You got to come down for the fun-loving waffles because they're fun. Get some pancakes, some fun-loving waffles. Don't make me come to your house with those waffles. Oh, sorry.
Well, I would like it if he made house calls. I don't have a carving station.
You want me to come to your house with some waffles?
Yes. If everybody knew or didn't know came to my house with waffles, I'd let them in.
You better think about that before
some
you say that.
Fun-loving waffles, come on.
Not gonna everybody showed up at my house with waffles.
I'll give you the address if you will. DC wants waffles.
Hey, come on down to Serenello's Restaurante Italiano, right on the corner, Lake Cook Road. I tell you, Lake Cook Road, right out here to the north. Milwaukee Avenue, it's known as Restaurant Road here in the Wheeling area. Come on down, folks. Every Sunday we're here. Brunch starts actually at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. goes all the way to 2 p.m. And of course, you can get those fun-loving waffles and anything else that you like to have, where pancakes, French toast. Bring the kids down, bring the missus down. You can get yourself some cereal. You can get yourself the carving station. They got the omelets down there. Folks, come on down. You will have a fantastic time. The atmosphere is phenomenal. Of course, you get to take in the Rewind Sports 60. You get to take in the Rewind Sports 60. We're streaming live on Facebook Live and, of course, YouTube Live. Now, if you miss any portion of it, you can just go to Facebook, YouTube, boom, we're right there. The important thing for you guys and girls to understand and remember is you must type in the Rewind Sports 60. The THE Rewind Sports 60. We got some other folks out there trying to, Kelly, they're trying to like hijack our name or something?
Hijack our name. They're trying to do things they shouldn't be doing, and we are watching you.
So we want you to make sure that you put in the THE Rewind Sports 60. Check us out. But you can also catch us on Comcast Access in the northern suburbs. On Tuesdays at 6 o'clock in the Lake County area, all the way up to the Wisconsin border, including, I believe, Racine and Kenosha. We're on Channel 17 on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Channel 17, Tuesday, 6 p.m. if you got Comcast Access. On Wednesday at 7 o'clock, Channel 19 and Channel 35. We're in the northern suburbs here, whether it's in Schaumburg, whether it's right here in Wheeling, Buffalo Grove, if you're up in Barrington or Park Ridge or Skokie, Morton Grove, anywhere in the northern portion of the northern suburbs, you got us on Comcast Access, Channel 19, Channel 35, and we got some big news coming up really, really soon, Kelly. I'm telling you.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Chomping at the bit.
Boy.
Chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bacon.
And the bacon. Chomping at the bacon.
That's for
bacon
sure.
bits.
But
we're doing it.
I tell you, we certainly are doing it, and we want you guys to be a part of what we're doing as well, the Rewind Sports 60. Say hello to our good technical director over there, Jay-Z, Jason Zinner. What's up, Jay-Z? Got his Loyola prize. There he is. We have to talk more Loyola Rambler basketball, but we certainly want to switch gears with this past week being the opening week for baseball. The 2018 campaign got underway, and both teams, the Cubs and the Sox, were on the road. And I got to tell you, man, Thursday was opening day, and the very first pitch, boom, shakalaka,
Yes.
Take
yes.
the D.
Yes.
Down in Florida against the Marlins. The first pitch, first swing, first home run of the 2018 campaign. And congratulations both to the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox on their opening day victory. But Kelly, let's start with you, the Cub fan. What was your thought when you I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, I didn't see it, but I was driving and I was listening to Pat Hughes. Okay, I drove 60 hours from Alaska a month ago to be on this show. I also did it to be here for opening day of Chicago baseball. I was so excited. And actually listening to Pat Hughes call that home run live when it happened. Cubs lead 1-0.
You didn't run off the road, did you?
Oh, no, I did. I almost did.
But that had nothing to do with the big game.
But they say you. Hey, we can't discuss that. But it was so awesome. But then the game goes on, and John Lester's giving up a few runs also, and the Cubs win 10-6. Yay, the Cubs win. John Lester not so great. Second game, Cal Hendricks, boom.
They finished that second game?
Right. Oh my goodness. I'm like, I watched the whole thing, and then it was like,
you have my sympathy.
I know. Hey, it was just awesome. This was what baseball's.
But you've been in Alaska for a decade.
Exactly.
So
Right.
So bad.
Yes.
Right.
So I loved it. Okay,
But the
I
thing
loved
with
it.
me, Kelly, is the fact that I'm like, okay, the Cubs are the big, tough, mighty Cubs, and they're taking on the
Fighting Cheaters.
The Fighting Cheaters, yes.
And 5,000 of his best friends.
Yes.
Daddy, they were fighting.
Yeah.
The Marlins was like, hey, we're not giving up on this thing.
Who needs Stanton?
Of course they're not giving up. They're a professional baseball squad.
What does that mean?
Yes. That means they're going to hit.
They're going to try AAA club.
No.
They can play a little ball too, okay? But
Yeah, very little.
we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. These are the types of clubs that come out of nowhere and do like far better than anyone ever is going to.
Yeah, but when you have a roster like the Cubs have.
Yes, it's awesome.
And you have just 25 guys with an M on their.
True.
And these guys they're battling you. They're fighting, and they're not giving up.
Yes, and that was great to watch. I'm glad to see something like that. And the Cubs, but what I saw was a great bullpen. A great bullpen when the starters, Yu Darvish. Okay, how much money did we pay for Yu Darvish? And this is how he comes out.
Hey, he lasted longer than he did in the World Series.
Right, exactly. Coming after a dismal World Series, and then he still got the contract after that World Series. And this is what you're going to do in the first game. We better.
I don't sweat him. Because
I sweat him. I'm going to sweat him because he got that money to not be that in the beginning of the year. He got that money to be that at the end of the year.
Right. So what happens in the beginning of the year
should be good.
Should be okay.
Right, but that wasn't.
It's only his first album.
I don't care. That boy.
If he's pitching this way in August and September, now we got to. In March,
right?
We don't have a problem.
Okay.
August, September, he's pitching like this. We got a problem.
Hey, if he's pitched like that in May, we have a problem because that means he's not coming back out of it.
Your bigger issue, because he's every 5 days. Your bigger issue is that bump on the log out in left field.
Schwarber.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
He lost all his weight.
Yes.
You think
He didn't lose any of that bad outfielding.
Did they call it spring training?
Right.
Did he skip it or something?
I don't care. You know what?
You don't care?
I don't.
Are you sure he was there?
I don't care about
he
Kyle
doing?
Schwarber's left field glove. As long as he eventually gets the ball back to the infield, fine. He's going to do some stumbling, but he's there to crush.
After about 2 or 3 runs, he's going to have to crush to make up for the runs that he's given up.
He's there to crush. He's there to crush, and he's as long as he's
anybody else.
Right.
That's the first
or himself.
Or himself,
yes.
He almost hurt himself.
I'm giving Kyle Schwarber benefit of the doubt there. I love this lineup from top to bottom. The first day, I was listening to the lineup like, wow. This is a lineup that can go far.
And Kelly, that's why I was kind of a little surprised and a little disappointed because I expected they got up what to a 4-0 start, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then the Marlins came back and tied the game up. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hey, take it easy now. How are you letting the Marlins come back and tie you up?
Oh, I was yelling.
If you're a powerhouse such as the Cubs and you're allowing this measly, put together team stay with you?
Yes.
And then you go, 16 innings the other night?
Right.
Come on, and
Right.
lose.
Yes, but like you said, March don't matter in March. What matters is they're 2-1 right now, and if they go 2-2, yes, we're going to be talking about them. Why? Because they're supposed to be the big bad Cubs. You're not supposed to go down to Miami and lose to the Jeters, twice in a dang series. But let's see what happens after that. If Lester picks it up, if Yu Darvish throws the way he's supposed to be throwing. And I see my Cubs hitting like Schwarber, like Chris Bryant has been doing. Rizzo is hot as well. These guys they're mashing the ball. The pitchers, they better come around because they're going to be mashing. They're going to be mashing all year. But the pitchers have to come out, 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings. It's amazing that they're all I hear about. Maybe we'll get the pitcher to the 6th inning or to the 7th inning. What happened to the complete games? What happened to going all the way? Right, exactly. The complete game is like a distant memory.
Right.
Nobody's even thinking about getting these pitchers out to finish those games.
Well, you don't have as many pitchers that can go and pitch complete games.
Why? Why is that?
I've been conditioned to that.
Right,
level.
And that's a problem. That is a major problem.
Well,
they need to fix that.
what they're talking about now is it's called I don't know if you guys heard the term, but it's called bullpenning, right? And so the Cubs have eight guys in the bullpen. I think they got 3 lefties and 5 righties, but the philosophy now, moving forward in this era, is to have your starting pitcher go. What happens is you face a lineup like the Cubs, right? And say you're Chris Bryant, and you go down swinging in the 1st inning. Then in the 3rd inning, you hit a ground ball. By the 5th inning, if that rotation continues, and you see the same pitcher, you're going to lace that ball out into the seats. Well, the concept now and what managers are saying now is that we only want these hitters to see our pitcher twice and then bring in a new fresh arm to keep them off balance. And that way it would put us in a position to get more victories. And so that's why you're not seeing as many complete games. Now, if you see a Baumgartner or who's the kid?
Kluber from the Indians.
Corey Kluber, yeah.
So you see guys like that. Those guys can go the distance. They got nasty
They're
stuff.
like unicorns, though.
Yeah.
And why
exactly.
are they? What happened between the 1980s and the Orioles having 4 horsemen that can all fit complete
part
games?
Part of it, Kelly, is the contract. It's money. You don't want to burn your guy out pitching, and that's.
I'll pay you too much money to use you.
Yeah, Chris Sale had that issue with the White Sox.
But the thing is, they're still getting burnt out. These pitchers are still getting hurt. Whether they're pitching 5 or 6 at a time, they're still having Tommy John surgeries.
Right.
It seems it doesn't matter whether they're going to distance.
Well,
or
we saw what the
4 or 5.
Nationals did with Strasburg, and he's still been hurt a couple times anyway.
But that was exactly, and that's Strasburg, and that comes from the high schools. That comes from the colleges.
Well, I get it in the little league, curveballs and the pitch counts. Now they've instituted pitch counts even at the high school level. So I do understand it, and some games are out of hand and whatever. You got your run rule and stuff to try to save guys. But I mean, you really are conditioning them that the few that are good enough to make it to that level, they're already sort of handcuffed, even though they have the talent to perform.
Right, and I don't understand why that's happening now, but it wasn't happening back in the day when we had these pitchers weren't having Tommy John surgeries back then. They weren't breaking down. They were horses. Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz. These were horses
You had to
that
kill
were
them to get
pitched
off the mound.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, I was to kill him to get him off the
Right. Well, exactly.
Right.
But that's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because of the baseball salaries, man. I mean,
salaries,
the money,
the conditioning, and then also it worked a couple of times that to use the bullpen like that in the playoffs. Like, they always copy.
Right.
True. But it just seems like it's going down the wrong path. I mean, their pitchers are vulnerable.
The starters are too valuable, and now they're playing more to the bullpen guys, so they have to do more.
Right.
It's kind of both sides.
Yeah, but it's the mindset of owners, and it's the era that we're in.
Yeah.
And I know there's some people that I talked to. They have a son, actually, that the Cubs are looking at. He throws somewhere in the low to mid 90s, but the Cubs are looking at him as a bullpen guy, a middle relief guy. He doesn't have the stuff to dominate, but he has stuff good enough that he can maintain a lead if his team is leading or hold opponents at bay.
Mariano Rivera with only had 2 pitches. That's all he needed.
That's it. But that's all. That's the direction that this sport is going into.
Yeah.
And that's the direction that this game is going.
Kind of in every realm, there's like more specialization. It's like rather being a jack of all trades, I'm the master of this one. And I just hope this one doesn't go out of existence, otherwise I'm out of a job.
But because of that, we'll never see another Jack Morris again.
We never know that. We never know that. But you also understand, baseball is a chess match.
True that.
And these managers, they're sitting on, some of them, like Ricky Renneria, are sitting there.
Hey, two games in, 2 wins, and nothing out there.
Right. What's up with that?
Should be happy.
He's sitting. He doesn't have anything to do with that.
What about the new manager?
Paul Konerko.
But wait a minute. What about the new manager of Philadelphia? He didn't even have anybody warming up yesterday.
What?
Uh-oh.
I think we forgot something.
They got a phone. They got a TV.
Did you call the bullpen? I was supposed to call the bullpen. Time.
What's the number?
Yeah.
911.
It's an emergency, folks. Hey, we're going to take a short time out. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Chicago White Sox and what's going on with the hot White Sox. 2-0 to start this 2018 campaign.
It's snow day.
They got a snow day.
More time to get some barbecue before you get out of that place.
Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. He is Kelly Lee Williams. And, of course, yours truly, Jerry Riles. We're broadcasting live from Serenello's Ristorante Italiano right here in Wheeling during the Sunday brunch. They call it the Champagne. A mimosa lunch for sure. Come on down here till 2 p.m. We're here till 1 p.m. You guys come on down, get yourself some of the grub to munch down on this Easter Sunday. Keep it locked in. You've got the Rewind Sports 60. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're having fun here at Serenello's Restaurante. I want you guys to come on down, have some fun. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, Kelly Lee Williams, and of course, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. And we're joined by former Loyola standout guard for the Ramblers back in the day. Of course, Andre Wakefield joining us and greeting us with his presence on the Rewind. Welcome back, my good friend. How are you, sir?
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Good to see you, man. And hey, you know what? We were all riding that wave, man. I mean, the Loyola Rambler, they took the city by storm. I don't know about you. I was driving around on Broadway and Sheridan, Devon. I was all around there yesterday, and the fanfare, people were going nuts. They were going crazy. They were excited for this basketball game. They were excited for this basketball team. You see, Sister Jean, they even adopted the W that the Cubs have. That W.
Right.
Put Sister Jean's face on there, and
that's why they lost.
but the city embraced these Loyola Ramblers, and again, congratulations to the entire squad advancing to the Final Four. But unfortunately, reality set in, and you can clearly say the better team won. The Michigan Wolverines, the team up north, they end up knocking off and eliminating the Ramblers by a score of 69-57 to advance to the championship game on Monday. Andre, I'm telling you, you must have been beside yourself, pins and needles, back and forth, tilting here, tilting there. What were your thoughts on the game?
I thought we hit the game.
Really?
When we started off, Michigan could not hit the side of the barn. They could hit the side of the barn, not the front.
Right.
They could not play well. And Loyola had the lead, but we didn't play our same way. We changed changed our ball style because we was dribbling more than passing.
Right.
You know, the first 3 or 4 games we was playing, we was passing, doing cuts, real sharp cuts, precision cuts. This time we were dribbling to the guy and trying to get that back door cut, you know?
Right.
And that slowed the game down. Even though we still had an 8 to 10 point lead at halftime, we still came in. But Michigan, you knew they were going to come back. But they had the 6'11" guy was posting all day in the first half, and no one gave him the ball. You know, no, I'm telling you, he was sitting there posting. And Michigan didn't even look at him. And I was shocked because I figured I'd roll that horse down low because they always said, you got a little mouse in the house, you got to post him. And that little mouse was sitting there because every time they switched, he was always on that guard.
Right.
And they never gave him the ball. I thought they had to do throw it up to him. They never did that. And so Lawler had a advantage because they went into halftime with the lead.
Right.
Second half was a whole different story.
It seemed like Michigan was intent on trying to get their outside shot going.
Right.
And so once that happened, then everything opened up for them. But it seemed like they wanted to do that. They didn't want to take advantage
And
of
you know,
other things they had.
I was saying the same thing. I had a friend call me later on that afternoon, and he was crying about that. Shooting. They stuck with their plan.
Right.
They started hitting it, you know?
Right.
I was shocked.
I feel like, man, they were kept doing it, staying on the outside. They knew that was there. They knew that was going to be there later in the second half, but they needed their guys to hit on the outside, so they needed them to keep shooting and get hot. And luckily they did. And then if they didn't, they still had the big man down. Then they would have fed him constantly.
Right.
John to not see that. I think that was on purpose.
Right. It was just the guards weren't looking in.
Right.
It wasn't him. It wasn't the coach. The guards never looked for him sometimes. You know, they were still trying to go out from the outside. But once he started hitting that shot, he came out, the big man, wasn't it Weiner or something, what's his name?
Wagner.
Yeah. When he came out and hit a couple threes, then they opened a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, and they got their confidence. And he made a dope pass. And got Michigan back into the game. You see the
That was a pretty pass.
Oh
man, that was nasty.
And that made Michigan stop believe again.
And what did that do to Loyola? Because when they showed the replay from underneath the basket, when he made the pass, he was at the top of the key or just inside the circle. It was a beautiful pass. And when he made it, I was like, man, that was a cold pass. Right. And then they showed the replay of it from behind, underneath the basket, and it was even more dynamic. What did that do? We know what it did for Michigan. What did that do to Loyola?
The air out of there. It took some air out of there because the big man, because Loyola still had the game. They was up by 3 or 4 at the time already.
Mm-hmm.
But then the big man he fouled out. You know, and then when he fouled out, they bring in a little guy smaller than him. He didn't have much body. I don't know what his name was, but he came in small.
Right.
And Michigan just went inside, outside.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, they looked like they can go inside, but they started shooting the outside shot. And hey, Lawler, the luck ran out.
Yeah. Well, we're on with Andre Wakefield, former guard, 76-78 with the Loyola Ramblers, breaking down the disappointing loss to Ramblers. Took it on the chin to the Michigan Wolverines. I agree with you that they're agree with you that Loyola they started playing more of Loyola Michigan style of basketball than their own style of basketball, because there were several times in that game, first and second half, Andre, Danny and Kelly, that Loyola, instead of going to the hoop, penetrating to the basket, kissing it off the glass, they were taking jumpers.
Yes. And
I even said I'm like, why are you shooting a jumper? Baseline jumper. That's not your game. Why are you taking a shot? And I think even the commentators, was it Bill Raftery? Right. Or Grant Hill, they were like, why'd you take that shot? That's not your shot. Loyola didn't play their style of basketball.
No, they didn't. Matter of fact, it seemed like they played Michigan style.
Bingo.
They played Michigan because Michigan is more shoot threes. Lawler, I tell you, Lawler, all the games I went to this year, and I watched some on television, they run the offense with backdoor cuts.
Right.
And when they go for them backdoor cuts, that's when they have little jump shots around the key. You know, but this time they came out looking for the jump shot. They didn't do the back cuts. I don't think they had a lot of backdoor cuts that worked.
They didn't.
When they tried, the Michigan guards in defense was really sagging a lot. You know? Yes. And so Lawler starts playing Michigan ball. They got out of their game. And then also Porter never had a moment this whole tournament that he was wild. Yesterday when they showed him, he lost his cool. He was screaming more at the ref and forgot to watch the game. So when you can't do both.
Right.
Not
that's what your sister coach. He was screaming and they were still in the game.
Right.
I believe they were playing Michigan offense. They were trying to run with them. They got a little overconfident because they were in the Final Four. Like, we are as good, but they weren't, and they didn't play that team. But the defense, Michigan had more turnovers in her first half than they had the last 2 games. So they had their defense going. That's why they were 10 up. That's why they were still in the game. But their 3-pointers weren't going down, and they didn't get their first 3-pointer until 15 minutes into the second half. And Michigan had their outside shooters hitting, and when they got the ball, they figured, hey, they found that they could start cutting. They could cut. Their guards were cutting, and their big men were going in and slamming. And they Michigan, the team that a lot of people picked to win the whole thing, and Loyola just couldn't keep up.
I think it was. I agree with you. I think Coach got a little bit out of character. He normally didn't. Normally would handle himself in a much more calmer situation. But I also think that Michigan got out-scouted and out-coached because Michigan, I think they were shooting 37% from beyond the stripe, and Loyola was shooting 43%.
Yes.
And so Loyola's looking at the numbers saying, hey, you know what? We can shoot better from behind the arc than they can.
And they fell in love with it, and they burned. And they burned it.
Loyola was 1 for 10, I believe.
Yes.
And they never all year came out shooting like that.
Right.
They was more 8 foot, 9 foot, back door, hit a couple threes shooting the game, but they fell in love right off the bat with that 3.
Right.
You know, and luckily they stayed in the game earlier because Michigan shot horrible.
They did.
Michigan shot. The Loyola shot horrible.
Did they have their eyes closed when they're shooting?
Oh my God.
And you mentioned about the Michigan defense sagging a little bit. Do you think that they were trying let's let them think that let's give them some of that. We're going to prevent those really easy baskets they've been getting all tournament long.
And you know something, as a player, that jock get tight. When I got an open shot, that's why I'm open. I think I can hit it. And then they make you shoot it. And then once you miss that first shot, and you're talking the magnitude of that game. You don't want to miss 2-3 shots in a row. Right. Because you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it as a player. I'm just as a player myself. Even though I had the green light, I said, oh man, I just missed 2. My players gonna say, what are they gonna do if I miss another shot? Then they might. If they miss, I ain't gave them the ball. They not rebounding. They're not playing the same D.
Michigan didn't care. I missed 5. Yeah, I am.
Right.
I missed 6.
Dante Ingram.
He got lost.
Yeah. What happened to him? I'm watching him. He wasn't the same player.
Because they were doing more dribbling again. Man, his thing is slice and dice. I come up and I go back door. I do curls. He didn't get a chance to play his game. He, like you said, they're playing Michigan. Loyola's not a really team that shoot 3-pointers.
Right.
They like Virginia type. They're a defensive team. They surround their defense, backdoor cut, and control the game. And they didn't do that. Then we talked about, remember last week we was talking about how Tennessee and between they was dribbling to a handoff?
Right.
We did the exact same thing, coming off trying to get them 3-point shots off earlier. We didn't keep the flow balanced. We keep the flow balanced. And then I thought we could have worked him over. But the big man could stick our big man.
Right.
Our big man was playing great. He had a great game.
Yeah.
So would you put that then on a concept change on the coach? Put that on the coach.
Well,
I know the players aren't equal, but like you said, they were in the game, and would you put that concept change on the coach?
Well, I'll put it on the coaching staff because it happened to me when I was at Georgetown. We could have won. And as I reflect about it, we didn't make the decision when we should have had. We kept our Frederick out there when he wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
It wasn't his day. It was Andre Moore's day. He was 9 for 11. Right. So we should have fed the horse. Should have switched him with just let him pop out and shoot and go that one coming out. So you think about it. He was over there screaming so much. He was watching what he's seeing, but the game was moving.
Right.
And that's when your assistant's supposed to say, "Hey, coach,
calm down.
We need to do this." And the game got going.
Right.
Because they was right there. The 5-minute mark is just like the game.
Right.
It was a whole different game.
Yeah.
And all of them lost it.
Yeah. I think one thing, Andre, that Loyola thought was with the poor free throw shooting of Michigan, that they could foul. Michigan would miss the 1-and-1. They knocked down.
And the worst first half.
Yeah.
They're gonna come out the second half.
Right.
And they wasn't that bad down.
Right.
And look at it, and they took all the same shots they took regular season. Remember you were saying they a shooter.
Yes.
They shoot that kind of shot. We don't shoot them kind of shots.
Yeah.
So we played out. Wasn't our style of ball. And we got down.
Yeah.
When we got down, we freaked.
That's why he was
We lost.
screaming.
That's what we screamed.
Versus,
Right.
and then you got down about 5. They stuck
and-
at 45, 47, 49 forever.
And you know what you said earlier, remember, we don't have that star player. We didn't have that star player that I need you, Jerry, to get that bucket, Jerry.
Right.
Who can I go to? The big man just fouled out. He
Right.
was getting it.
Right.
Now who can I go to?
Right. And to me, it should have been Ingram.
Yeah.
And
Because I think in that bunch, he's probably one of the most athletic
Oh yeah, no doubt.
on the floor.
Yeah, he got a good
I
future.
thought he should have been that guy to step up and say, hey, you know what? We're not going home today.
Yeah.
We're not going home today. And we talked about it before in the past, Chicago style playground basketball. I thought he should have taken that mentality and say, all right, you know what? Let's go hoop. And he didn't do it.
And our guard was good. The other little guard came from Ireland. He had a decent game. You know, he could have took over.
Right.
Or get the, you don't have to take over by scoring.
Bingo.
But getting the people placed in the right way. England need to get back in that game. They never got him in the game. And sometimes, as a point guard, because I always say that because I'm a point guard, if I didn't get Jerry into the game, I'd go home and I said, man, I could have got my man into the game. I could have sacrificed a play here and there just to get him back.
Right.
And then pat him and say, hey, man, come on, I need you. I need you. I got to have you.
Right.
Then he came because he played good deep. He was playing good defense, but the offense wasn't there.
Hey,
You know?
Andre Wakefield, before we take a short time out, were the Ramblers, were they mesmerized or shell shocked because it was the maize and blue, because they're playing on the big stage, because it's lights, camera, action?
I don't think so. But I think when they got down, they realized they was on that big stage.
Right.
That's what you see. At first they wasn't. That first half they feel they could play, but that second half when when you already get down, now here can the cream come to that top. That cream didn't rise no more.
Yeah.
That cream just disappeared.
Yeah.
And Michigan League just kept going.
Right.
Yep.
They kept going.
They played the way they've been accustomed to playing, and like Kelly said, some people even picked them to win, the entire
Really hard.
national championship.
And now they have a chance.
They certainly do, but it's going to be
it's gonna be a dub.
You know what?
Baby. It's gonna be hard.
We're going to take a short time out. We're going to keep Andre Wakefield here, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, Kelly Lee Williams, Jerry Rouse. Folks, we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at the championship game on Monday night because that's going to be a heck of a matchup.
Nova's already hitting threes.
Oh, man, they're shooting,
18
boy.
of them.
We're certainly going to take a look at that. We want you guys to take a look at us. Keep us locked in. Hey, welcome back, everyone, to the Rewind Sports 60. Yours truly, Jerry Riles. Hey, we got a cast of characters here. We're here at Serenello's Restaurante Italiano, right here in Wheeling, talking some college basketball, NCAA tournament, March Madness, the championship game is settled. Kelly Williams, the man of the hour. He is indeed the best in the business. Actor, comedian, entertainer. He's the one and only. Kelly, you were just performing this past weekend. Where were you?
I was at the Two Brothers Roundhouse this Thursday night in Aurora, and it was a showcase for a bunch of ladies and gentlemen, very funny gentlemen. And I got up there. I haven't performed in Chicago in over 3 years, and it was great to be back on the Chicago stage. And I performed Friday at the American Legion Post 1198 because I'm Army 5 years. I'm also an American Legion member, and try to get things going on here in the city.
He's getting things done. He's getting things. Let me tell you guys. Listen here. You've heard this guy, Eddie Murphy. You heard him. You heard. You heard of Chris Rock. You heard.
You know about that, man. Hey,
You heard of Tracy Morgan, right?
Tracy Morgan somewhere around here. He needs some eggs and bacon in his belly.
You heard of Cedric the Entertainer, right?
Oh, I don't know what it is. I think it is Cedric. Cedric hurt me. Cedric will hunt me down and hurt me. He don't play
Kelly
that.
Lee Williams, folks. He is definitely soon to be a household name, not only in the city of Chicago, but across the country here. And you could say you saw him, you heard him, here first. At the Rewind Sports 60. Remember THE, Rewind Sports 60. Kelly Williams with us every week breaking down sports.
I got a question real quick for Kelly. When you were going to Alaska for those 10 years, did you practice your material in front of like polar bears and moose or stuff like that?
Yes, and those polar bears were wearing leather and yeah.
Were they wearing chaps? Come
They
on.
were wearing chaps. Yes, they were very special polar bears.
Yeah, it must have been an interesting
Yes.
bar, polar bear hangouts. or
They
whatever.
loved my act.
Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. Marvelous Marber joining us again. And of course, we're pleased to be joined by Andre Wakefield, former guard for the Loyola Ramblers. And gentlemen, the Loyola Ramblers, Lady Luck is ended for them, and they return home. I'm sure there's going to be a big parade over there on the north side, right off the lake on Broadway, Sheridan Road over there. But the Ramblers, congratulations to them for a great run and an exciting, entertaining March Madness, and first time advancing to the Final Four in 55 years, pretty much. But it was a good run. But now, Danny, Marvelous Marvel, we'll start with you. You got the big one Monday night, Villanova.
It looks like Villanova is pretty strong right now, and of course there's a Chicago connection on both sides with Brunson from Stevenson and then Matthews from St. Rita, who transferred from Kentucky on the Michigan side. But I have to go with the big guy. For Michigan is going to be a problem, but I think Villanova will be able to handle him, Wagner. So that's the key. If they can contain him, then Villanova should win that game.
Andre, this kid Brunson, as you talked about, a local kid, I'm watching his game, man, and he is, to me, he's pro ready. He's got the body, he's got the mindset, he's got the game, and he's got the poise.
Genetics too.
Yeah, you know, his daddy played for the Bulls for a minute. You know, and matter of fact, his daddy probably a little taller, I believe. But he got the same type of game. They got the same game. They run that point. But I think his son is a little bit better point guard than him. You know, because he leads that Villanova team, man.
Right.
And when I'm telling you, when I see him out there, I feel confident he can run my show, man. If I was a coach, man, because he gets the ball to everybody that he's supposed to get the ball to, and them guys know it. You know, you watch that game. He's just short Kansas. He's just short Kansas.
Yeah.
He didn't destroy him. He got the ball to people. They were hitting the shot. They were doing backdoor cuts. Matter of fact, he post. They had him posting yesterday, and he called it. He was distributing to a jump shot. So he post. They took, they did something different.
Right.
They let him post, and when he posted, he gave the ball to everybody in their spot.
And they all can shoot at Villanova, of course.
Right. 18 of them.
Yeah.
Danny, a lot of people pick Michigan in their brackets. I put Villanova and Virginia in the championship game. We know what happened with Virginia, but
They were in it?
I think they were in the stadium.
Oh.
I think they were in the stadium.
You get yourself the parking pass on the bus on it.
But in most of the brackets that are busted up, there's a tiebreaker. You predict whatever score you think it's going to be. I put like
Over.
167.
Over.
What do you see?
If they're shooting like last night, over. They might get that by themselves. But yeah, when you have a team that's got that kind of talent, Villanova's. I mean, this is getting to be all hat for them. The 3 times in the last few years here.
Right.
So so they're, and last year was a shock the way it went down. So this is a team that's set for the stage. What they did to Kansas last night was just. I mean, game's over the first 3, 4, 5 minutes, and no point at all. You're just watching to see how high the score goes. So, I mean, Michigan's going to have their work cut out for them. If they have a similar first half to what they had in Loyola, forget it. It's going to be worse than the Kansas game.
Kelly Lee, is it a track meet Monday night?
It's going to be a track meet, but it's also going to be an excellent game. That's because of the players. All right, we have to give credit to these coaches. The coaching of Jay Wright. He's been bringing Villanova. Villanova is a top 5 program now. We really haven't talked much about Villanova until Jay Wright got them in the mix, and they've been in the mix for like 6, 7, 10 years now, and they've been up there. John Beilein has been in the national championship game with Michigan before, and John Beilein's coaching I believe, is what got them past Loyola. I don't disrespect them. No disrespect intended. No disrespect intended. That wasn't luck what Loyola did. Loyola got to the Final Four because of their defense. Loyola broke down every hot offense they ran into. They broke down Michigan's hot offense in the first half. They were in that game until Michigan decided to be Michigan. All right? And it wasn't luck. And Porter Moser just didn't have the experience that John Beilein did. You saw it in the makeup of the coaches during that game. Porter Moser losing his mind. John Beilein, we'll be okay. We're going to get through this. It's going to be closer than anybody thinks.
Well, why did they have the composure against Kansas State? We know that Bruce Weber has been there before, 3 different teams, taking it to the big dance the way he did. Why didn't he have the same composure last night that he had at K-State game?
Like me and Danny was talking about earlier, Loyola ran their offense against K-State. When they blew them out, they kept the ball moving. They were doing backdoor. Against Michigan, it was a whole different offense. They dribbled more. The pass. They didn't do the same offense. And then plus, You talking about K-State 6'6", 6'7". That's the same size all.
Right.
And then K-State don't have no offensive player. You know, they kept saying when they got down, who they gonna go to? Who gonna scope?
Right.
They had no one like that.
Right.
Michigan had the big man. I don't know when he gonna get the ball down low, but they never gave it to him down low. It really, like I said, Ricky Green called me and Miller, and he asked me, man,
Chicago's legendary.
they won't get a big man the ball. And I was shocked because they never looked at him. They looked at him and they just threw it right back out. They was going, like you said, they was sticking with their gun, shooting the 3 pointers. And I was shocked, but it worked.
And I believe that's what Loyola's downfall was. They tried to match what Michigan did. Instead of running their own offense, they tried to match, and they could not.
Marvelous. Who wins the national championship?
I mean, Villanova is obviously on a roll right now, so I would pick them. The thing about Michigan is they don't have those high-scoring games typically. They rely more on defense. So it's going to be a question if they can keep the shoot. If the shooters are hot for Villanova, it's over like yesterday. So that's a question. I mean, Villanova would be the favorite, I would say, without question, in this game. I mean, and Michigan, like I say, they squeaked by over Houston, for example.
Right.
Last-second shot by the freshman Poole. So they've had some fortunate experiences too.
Yeah. You know, what do you see?
It's hard to pick against Villanova. I mean, it's again, their shooting has to be way off, and has it really been off all year?
No.
I mean, it's hard to imagine
against Xavier. They lost.
But I mean,
and Butler.
How long ago was that? I mean, so I mean, I think they had their blip, and it's long in the rearview mirror. It's gonna be a very tough road for Michigan. They're gonna need a little. Villanova's gonna have an off night. If they both play at their best game, I think it's a 10-point win for Villanova.
You know, Kelly, it's interesting because Loyola had a 14-game winning streak going into the game last night. Michigan had a 13-game winning streak going into the game right now. They're tied at 14. Does that streak continue?
That's why I think Michigan's going to be the national champion. Villanova is.
Now, you made this prediction before.
But I'm making this prediction because I believe the team that I picked got beat.
Sound like Roger Dangerfield.
Hey, get no respect, all right? Hey, no sound like get Michigan, all right? If Michigan doesn't win, then Villanova's going to win, okay? If Villanova doesn't win, I'm going back to the beginning of the season, and we're going to start over, all right? I'm new with this prediction thing, all right? I'm doing the best I can, all right? Get off my back, all right?
University of Maryland, Baltimore County will win then, right?
Yeah, that's UMBC. That's right.
Wait till next year.
Who was the last team to beat Michigan? Northwestern.
Northwestern. 2019 champions.
That's right. Andre Wakefield, what do you see in tomorrow's game?
I'm seeing Villanova. You know, I'm seeing Villanova because of the point guard. He's the best point guard in the country. And when I seen him yesterday, they changed his game. They took him off the ball and just put him down low.
Right.
So that showed me that Jay is scouting, Jay is changing, Jay is letting them play, and they trust Jay. You know?
Let me ask you this question. You say Brunson's the best guard in the country. What did you think of this kid Trey Young out of Oklahoma?
Oh, no doubt, he's the best offensive player in the country. I'm talking about point guard. I'm talking about a guard who gonna run the offense, who get that engine, who starts that engine. You know, now if the little guy Trey Young with an sacrificed of his offense and got his engine running, they would have won. But he came out there shooting. He shot some shots that he should have never shot. He never even tried to get the man down low. They could just throw it. I think you could just post it and throw it back out, shoot them shots.
Right.
Just try to do all dribbling drills.
So was that more of him?
Yeah.
We're gonna take a timeout here. But was that more on Trey Young or was that more on the coaching staff?
Well, the coaching staff style.
Okay, because my understanding is, well, Trey, you're expecting him to jump ship and go to the NBA. But I understand there are at least 3 or 4 other players who are planning on leaving the program. And I'm wondering, is it based on because they were upset with Trey Young and I guess all the attention that he received from the coaching staff?
Right.
Does that make sense to you? If this kid is leaving and you felt he was a problem, now you're going to have an opportunity to get more playing time.
Right.
But you decide to leave.
Well, sometimes you express your stuff to the coach the wrong way, and you have to get out of there because you done told him how you felt.
Right.
So if I come back, I know he ain't gonna treat me right.
They definitely had an issue. I mean, they finished like losing 9 of their last 11.
Right. So them guys, they all upset. So sometimes you got to leave when you say some bad things, you know.
Yeah, I guess you have to leave, and you know, good luck to all these guys. And again, I think Villanova will have the edge in the championship game. I think Michigan will definitely give them a very good basketball game. I think it'll be up and down. I think these are 2 top caliber teams, and I do think that the Michael Jordan syndrome played a factor in this game, the outcome for Loyola. The same way it happened, Danny Carlino, when the North Carolina Tar Heels were playing a fight in the Illini back in, what, 05 or whatever, and Jordan was standing there in the doorway and he looks at the refs, and next thing you know, Illinois is out. I think the Jordan factor. I think the Jordan factor. I think he represents that school up north, and he said, "Hey, you know what? Hey, Loyola, you know what? Don't worry about it."
So somebody got some tinfoil. I think Jerry needs a new hat.
Hey, the jump man.
Is Michael Jordan scratching his ear the same thing as Nick Saban with a sack of money?
Stranger things have happened. He's Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. Marvelous Danny Marver joining us. Of course, Andre Wakefield, Kelly Lee Williams, yours truly, Jerry Riles. Folks, the hits just keep coming. We're going to get inside ourselves. We're going to, I think, is she here? Or maybe she's not here yet.
No, she's here.
Oh, there she is. There she is. Rita Ford is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, she's here in the house to calm us down and relax us and show us how we can have a better up-spirit lifestyle. Rita Ford, Sungate Center here in Wheeling, will be joining us. Don't touch the smartphone, the iPad, the Samsung. Don't touch any of that stuff. Keep it locked in. You've got the Rewind Sports 60 broadcasting from Saranello.
We're on Etch-a-Sketch too, I think. Right?
Don't touch your Zoom.
We're back in the flash, guys. Keep it locked in. You've got the Rewind. Thank you, gentlemen.
It's the end of the quarter. Time for a break in the action. The hottest sports panel in Chicago will get back to the fast-paced action, streaming live on Facebook Live. We're back at it after this quick timeout, so don't you dare touch that iPhone, Android, iPad, Mac, or PC. Lock it in.
We like to hear that you're open because we're very close-minded and we don't.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Riles along with the Italian Stallion, Danny Carlino, Kelly Lee Williams, the best in the business, and of course, it's always the beauty and the beast on the Rewind Sports 60. And again, I got to tell you, girls and guys out there, when you're Googling us, when you're on your what is it, Kelly?
Computer,
Typewriter,
The computer,
keyboard.
It's the, you see the sign here? The Rewind Sports 60.
Okay,
THE Rewind Sports 60. We got some folks out there who are
Shady.
yeah.
Shady.
Hackers.
Yeah.
Hacker shady.
But you know, they say
They hate us because they ain't us. That's what we say. They hate us
what they say
because they ain't us.
imitation is the greatest
Serious
form
form of flattery, yeah.
flattery.
And sometimes a felony. I know.
I thought you said something else. We'll leave that alone.
That was good, Kelly.
Well, thank you. Sorry.
Should we go?
Oh, don't be sorry.
We'll be right back after this Giggles Fest.
That was
Technical
good.
difficulties.
Guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I tell you he's the funniest guy around.
See, them polar bears are such a tough crowd. This is really fun to
He's the
skill.
funniest guy around. You gotta, Kelly. Where's your next gig?
Next gig is here. Actually, no. It's Monday morning at Paul Robeson High School. I'm starting a program with I Am That Kid Foundation that includes dance and improv. We want to give the inner city, everybody in the inner city, I hate that term, the city kids a chance to be creative, because we're not giving them much of a chance in electives in our high schools today. They need more creativity, and improv and dance will do that for them. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. I am that kid. Like you are. You are that kid. I am that kid. That's what we do.
He's still recovering.
And I don't really have felonies. Not more than one.
And we're joined by co-founder of Sungate Center here in Wheeling, right on the
Also with a
corner.
clean record, yes.
Yes.
Right on the corner of
all good,
Dundee
right?
and Milwaukee Avenue. Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue, Sungate Center, the lovely, the talented, the beautiful Rita Board. Rita, thank you so very much for joining us again. How are you?
Thank you for having me again.
It's always a
Thank you.
pleasure, especially on this Easter Sunday.
Happy
Good
Easter.
to see you.
Thank you. You too, everybody.
It's
Yes.
awesome. Exactly. So, what can you share with us? If you guys are new to the program, you haven't had an opportunity to hear Rita. She shares a lot of information regarding your body, your spirit, your mind, your soul. What can you share with our listening audience today? You've been away for a few weeks.
Too long. We have missed you.
Yeah, we have missed you.
Oh, miss you too, guys.
Definitely,
Missed everybody.
definitely.
Yeah.
How would you suggest myself and Danny to deal with the stress of Jerry's voice? I mean, what would you give us? What kind of techniques to deal with that awesome, powerful voice? It's just overpowering.
Is it bothering you?
No, not bothering. No,
Ask her.
no, not at all. No.
There are two options.
No, just about this all.
There's two options.
Yes, the opposite. Yes.
Yes. To close your ears.
I tried that. It's
No, didn't work. No, then just leave.
all right. That's the greatest one yet. All right. That's exactly what my mom told me.
You don't like it?
Leave.
There's the door.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Don't let it hit you on the...
Kind of like Ricky Renneria, right?
You and Ricky, man. Leave
He's
Ricky.
made 2 full games.
Leave Ricky alone.
like he
Leave him alone.
was on the north side. He's just sitting on the bench. No, Rita, but
We've gone off the rails. Rita.
Kelly brings up a good point. You know, we're just coming off the Lenten season. Happy Easter, and you know, some people it's tough for them to sacrifice. Like for me, back in the day, I used to give up beer for Lent. Not that I had a problem or anything like that, Danny, but I used to give up beer.
What are you looking at me for?
Right?
No, I mean, just,
Oh, okay.
No.
Just be conversational. No, I get it.
meaning I didn't have a drinking problem.
Confrontational? Yes.
But you know, when people give up a vice, so to speak, they end up. A lot of people end up stressing or picking up something else that may not be healthy for them or good for them. What do you do, and how do you recommend people when they run into some form of stress and having to sacrifice something?
Well, if you're not ready to sacrifice some beer or wine, don't do it.
If you're not ready,
If you're not ready right here in your mind, so let's search for something else.
So you should kind of prepare ahead of time as far as like,
Really?
people are like, oh, it's Lent, let me pick something.
no,
Right.
because when so I would again, not that I have a drinking problem by any means, but I
I
enjoy
haven't
beer.
spilled a drop of the mimosa yet today.
I enjoy beer. So, and you're right. I had to mentally prepare myself that during the Lenten season for 40 days, I'm going to give up beer. I think what I actually started to pick up, Rita, was I started eating a lot of candy.
Oh,
Can't you tell?
Take it easy.
not the best choice.
No. And it's probably to do with, you know, it was replacing a vice for another vice, which meant I'm kind of like trying to keep my thoughts away from drinking beer, so I go over to the sweets. How do I put away one negative and not pick up another one?
Right.
Well, there's one answer for everyone.
Right?
It could be breathing. Just put yourself in some kind of mode that you're ready to do some everyday practice.
Okay.
And it can be breathing, just simple breathing, deep breathing, at least 5 minutes a day.
Deep breathing.
Deep breathing, instead of candy, just remember you have to breathe.
Put the Skittles away and take the breaths.
Take your breath away. Water. Instead of candy, just go and grab the glass of water.
So that's a good idea, and what I normally do in my lifestyle, and that's what I'm supposed to say. But what I do,
nothing to
I
offer
drink.
on that one.
Normally, what I do, and it's a bad. Well, it's not bad, but some people think it may be bad. But I drink a lot of tea during the day, as you all know. I drink tea like
Tea is good.
all day, but I have a routine where when it's game time, if I'm watching a game,
You stress.
I'm getting a beer, and I'm chowing down. And sometimes it can go into like
How many?
not the wee hours of the morning, but it can go to like 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Look at that Cubs game. I don't know. I can tell you.
Danny, and I
Take some beer to get
had
through that
beer
stuff.
there, and I had
Old style.
And what do you recommend for people who have that type of diet, such as mine, where you don't eat much during the day, or you may drink a lot of fluids, whether it's water or whether it's juice, but then you have that big meal, and then you can't stop from snacking here and there.
Well, I won't be able to recommend you anything, and even if I would recommend, you won't do it until
Right.
you set your mind into it.
Okay.
I can give you 100 advices, but you won't do it.
But some people are more disciplined than others, and they
Right.
realize that.
Yeah, still, they
you know.
have to set their mind.
Uh-huh.
They're ready for it. They want it. They really want it with all the heart. Like you want somebody to win. Who you want to win?
Right.
Well, we wanted Loyola to win, but they didn't win.
And we are sad about that. So we give up
So
matching
we all
socks.
said now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more laughing.
No, we give us
I had a lot of candy last night.
I'm not going to touch that.
Good, because I already ate it.
We're here with Rita Board, Sungate Center, located here in Wheeling, right on the corner of Dundee Road and Milwaukee Avenue, folks. Does a fantastic job. What are some of the things, services, classes that you offer at the Sungate Center for folks?
Yoga, Tai Chi, deep breathing. Well, I'll teach meditations. We have this amazing device
Yes.
that are working to calm you down, to bring your, at the same time, to bring your mood up after the game. Very good. So
And
we
what is
got
this device? What is this device?
This device is a crystal light healing.
Really?
Crystal light bath are working. Crystals and lights and music are working to balance your entire body.
So, a disco bath.
Disco bath.
All right.
Some people call it Christmas lights.
No,
That's
I
like Christmas lights.
I was one of those individuals when I saw it. I had an opportunity to experience it,
Yeah.
Kelly. When I saw the lights, they're hanging down. You're on a bed, and then the lights are in tune, colored, and and with the pamphlet that you have, they look like Christmas lights.
All right.
Yeah, they look like Christmas lights. But tell Kelly and our viewing audience, what's the effect of these lights? What do these lights do?
If you guys know about chakras, anything about chakras, there's 7, and they're balancing our chakras. Plus, beside this physical body, we have energy bodies. So where we have blocks, when you stress, you get block, and these blocks won't allow energy to get into your physical body. So you are tight. You cannot think properly. That's bad. Bad. Better, and you better.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Can you say that again? Get your favorite.
Get your favorite team to win.
Yes.
Well, at least you can deal with
After
it
the
not
session-
happening better.
Rita, I'm watching the Loyola game against Michigan, and the kid, I think Custer's taking a jump shot from the corner, and I'm like, hey, stop shooting! You don't do
You
that!
needed to put him in the disco bath.
Do
The
they
chakras.
hear you?
No,
Do they hear you?
I don't think
they
you did.
will hear you after the session.
Chaka Khan? You have to get the Chaka Khan?
I feel for you.
I feel for you.
Now, you
I
said
think
that
I love you.
You said that there are 7. Can you break down what those 7 are?
7. Yeah, there's 7.
There's 7. Google it.
Exactly. Well, we start with the first one, which is responsible for our grounding material, and then we go to second one with the second chakra. Second chakra responsible for your creativity and sexual activity.
You hear that,
And
Kelly?
then the next one, The next one is solar plexus. We go to next one next show.
All right.
We'll stop right there on the sacral chakra.
Are you
How
sure?
about that? Yes.
Okay.
2 chakras at a time,
Two
homie.
chakras.
You don't want to overdose on it.
Rita
Yeah,
Board,
Rita.
Sungate Center here in Wheeling. Folks, come on down, check her out right there on the corner of Milwaukee Avenue and Lake Grove. Co-founder And your better half, Michael?
Michael is fine. He's doing good.
He's doing good?
Good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Just one more point. Last night was the full moon.
Yeah.
Blue moon. So if something happened during the night or tonight, don't worry. Don't worry, because it's just a full moon. It's your emotions. You might be crying.
Easter full moon and April Fool's Day all at the same time.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm not getting charged at all.
Wait,
so no worries.
You
If
sure?
too much
No worries.
crying or too much laughing or
I'm not gonna
too
get
much
caught.
of anything.
So look,
don't
my
worry.
buddy.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful.
You see what he wrote? He text?
Bad moon. It's not bad moon. It's blue moon.
He said it's a bad moon.
different
Oh,
song.
he
That's
said no.
The song is Bad Moon
He
right
said he feels trouble.
That's Sierra Blue
He said he
Moon.
feels trouble.
It's a blue moon.
Right.
It's second blue moon in the month of
beer,
March.
too.
So
Right.
that's why it's called blue moon.
Blue Moon is quite
So
the good
blue
beer.
moon.
So we don't have to worry.
No worries.
Now
No
we're
worries.
gonna take a short time out. Jason's there. Now he told me, and I love the guy, little Ricky. I love him, but he believes that the come on, help me out here.
I'm trying, but the chick eats from the hand.
The rapture.
The rapture?
He thinks
The rapture's coming?
God's gonna be calling
He
people
does.
up.
Well, make sure you answer.
Right.
Whatever he said is
That's what he thinks.
Don't let the machine get it when he
He
calls.
said because of all the moons that we've had, the blue moon, the red moon, the black moon, all the moons.
all together.
Moon
Yeah, he
Mullen.
believes-
We had Moon Mullen
We
on
had
a couple
Moon,
weeks
yes.
ago.
She is certainly amongst the beast here, the beast. Kelly Lee Williams, the best in the business, folks, and of course the Italian stallion, Danny Carlino. Keep it locked there. More in store, folks. Keep it locked there. You've got the Rewind Sports 60. Take it away, Jay-Z. Welcome back, folks, to Rewind Sports 60. Guys and girls, thank you for tuning in. If you miss any portion of the broadcast, we are streaming live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, so we want you to go there and check us out. If you miss any portion of the broadcast, feel free to type in The Rewind Sports 60, THE Rewind Sports 60. We're also on Comcast Access in Lake County on Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, Channel 17, and the northern suburbs, Channel 19, Channel 35 on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. if you have Comcast access. The hits just keep coming. Yours truly, Jerry Riles, Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion, and of course the man on the street. He is our man. Marty B is in the house at Serrano's Ristorante Italiano. How are you, Marty?
Terrific, Jerry. I want to compliment you and Danny on a superb show today.
Awesome. Hey, man, we couldn't do it without you.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure to be here. And folks, during the Lenten season, I'm usually kind of subdued, so I promise my presence will be felt a lot more in the coming weeks.
There you go.
We've got some exciting things planned.
Your presence is always felt, man.
Oh, well, thank you, Jerry.
Happy
Thank
Easter
you.
to you.
And a very blessed Easter to you and your lovely family, to you, Danny, and your lovely family. And of course, to my lovely family, which I look forward to enjoying the wonderful afternoon and evening with very, very shortly. But next week, oh my gosh, we're going to have so much to talk about. Now that we've got we will have college basketball out of the way, it's going to be great to talk about the Masters.
Oh my goodness! I'm
Oh!
looking forward to it. I'm going to be on a good show with a good friend of mine, Business First AM with Angela Miles. I'm going to be on with her actually this week, talking about the Masters and Tiger Woods and the revenue that he generates just by playing in this tournament.
Oh, I pray to God he makes the cut on Friday.
I believe he will.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
He looks like he's ready.
And if he's playing on Sunday and it's meaningful, wow.
Unbelievable. If he's playing on Monday, you stick.
Yes. Share some meaningful Lenten messages with our viewing audience. I have one today which I think will kind of wrap things up. So without any further ado, let me share with our audience. Sometimes we feel that Jesus is asking impossible things from us. How can we love someone people who have gone out of their way to show a lot of disdain for us? And worse still, how can we pray for those who are persecuting us, have us falsely accused, arrested, or even detained? And yet, yes, that is what we are enjoined to do, because it is but natural to love people who love us, to appreciate do good to us, show us appreciation, or even sometimes admiration. But to be a follower of Christ, and it's especially important we think of this today, on the day he rose, it demands more. What we have to do, what does not come naturally to us, and by ourselves alone, we cannot do this. We have to ask God's grace to look at the good side of people, to forgive their actions against us. Maybe what can help is to remind ourselves that God sometimes sees something good in them. Actually, God always sees something good in them. And so we ask God to let us see this good that is innately in that person. And as we know, with God, nothing is impossible. Even loving those who show a real dislike for us and praying for those who more severely persecute us. That is the Easter Sunday message for Rewind Sports 60.
Thank you, Marty.
Have a happy Easter and a blessed Passover to our Jewish friends.
Thank you. You know, before we say goodbye, that Happy Easter. Before we say goodbye, that was very, very eloquent. It was very, very touching, and it very, very much hit the heart and tugged at the heartstrings. Oprah Winfrey said that, and we know Oprah Winfrey. She's the queen. She's the queen. She said that there was this inmate who had written a book about his life, and someone gave her the book and said, you know, you need to read this book and maybe interview this guy. And she's like, why do I need to talk with this guy for? He's been in prison. I mean, what can I learn from him? What can he tell me about anything? He doesn't know anything. And she said that she reflected, thought about it, changed her mind, actually sat down with the young man. I don't have his name, but she sat down with him, and she said that he was so enlightening, that she learned so much from this man based on his experience, whereas initially she didn't think that she could get anything from him. And I say that to say, you know, it's easy for us to love each other and, you know, love our friends and our family, but for those who do persecute us, those who spread false witnesses against us, that's the true challenge of being a Christian or a follower of Christ or a loving person. And I'm glad you read that, because it's very, very difficult for people to take that stance. It's very, very difficult.
I want to say
thank you for sharing.
The most important commandment. Didn't say like everybody.
Nope.
Because that is impossible to like everybody. People get on your nerves for all kinds of silly things. Forget about persecuting you or lying to you or even hurting you physically. Any little silly thing.
Right.
Yeah,
but you can still show love to them.
Exactly.
And that commandment, thou shalt not steal, I'm working on it. I am working on it. It's not going well, but I am working on it.
Where are my car keys? Come on.
I'm going to quiz you on that next Easter.
But you're going to steal this message, right?
That message, I've stolen this message.
No,
I'm stealing this. This is
Thanks
awesome.
to Marty B, a man on the street. We appreciate you always joining us and spreading the message. Thank you so very much. Danny Carlino, the Italian Stallion. Kelly Lee Williams, he is the best in the business, folks. Kelly, again, people can check out. You'll be at Robeson this week, and you got some gigs coming up.
Yes.
Check out the website, www.therewindsports60, THE Rewind Sports 60.
And our Facebook page.
And don't forget, excuse me for interrupting, next Sunday, the second place in the state bowling girls from Hoffman Estate.
Yes, yes. Also, thanks to Andre Wakefield for joining us here on the Rewind Sports 60, and of course, Danny Marvelous Marver. Folks, we appreciate you. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Comcast Access. Have a great Easter Sunday, a fabulous week, and we'll see you next week right here at Sarah Neville's Restaurante Italiano here in the heart of Wheeling. Take care, everybody.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Bye-bye. Get that smoke back.
Yeah, where is this?